Hey yo, welcome to your favorite hip hop show, La Bars. Today we are going to be receiving Wadi East legend Black Fred, aka Bisha.
Boss shots in the air. Oh, there the year we bust a bad kind of gringo. There the year we.
I know say the boy that the vex. They want make a bow, make a beg. But me, your boy, I over strong head. Ask my teacher step, even for school self. I never gave a F, was always on the neck. Critics made me, I always been the best. Greatness, watch it manifest. My gringo them for quarter, they did not chest.
Thanks for having me, my G. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
So tell us, who is Bisha?
Man, aka Ekuba Fred Armor, aka Black Bisha, aka Black Fred, man. I was born in the southwest of Cameroon, but I moved to Yaoundé when I was like 2 years old with my parents because my dad was in the military, so we had to move from the southwest to like the central province where he was working. So that's who I am, man. I was born in 1982, so I'm like 42 years old now, bro. Yeah.
Where did your love for hip hop come from? Tell us more. Where did you start rapping?
Man, all this love started. Man, it wasn't even for hip hop, man. Let me just say for music, because all the thing they start Natari man discover Michael Jackson, Back in our teenage days, man, we fell in love with Michael Jackson with his dance move, his way of dressing, and back in the days he had rappers featuring him in his music genre that he was doing, which was pop at that time. But we fell in love with music. It wasn't only hip hop. For me, I didn't fall in love with hip hop. That's not what introduced me to music, I was in love with Makossa, Bikutsi, like back in those days. That's why I can do like all genres of music without being bothered, because I fell in love with all types of music before even discovering hip hop.
When did you start rap?
I started rap like back in the 90s. Like I think I was introduced to rap before Big and Pac, just to keep you, just to show you where you understand. When I was rapping, when I was already deep into rap, Big and Pac was still alive. Like seriously, because I think Pac died is in 94, and Big died like 96. I think they are like something like that, man. Back in the 90s, I was already deep in hip hop with people the Run DMCs, but it wasn't like I couldn't listen. I just watched some of their videos, and I read about them, because back in those days, we had people we used to have neighbors and friends and family friends who would go to the States, or had people in the States who would come back with magazines, like the magazines that they had back in those days. So we'll read about hip hop, we'll listen to some, because some people already had cassettes, since we had cassette players, we could listen to the Run DMCs, the NWAs, like Two Life Crews, like different groups who were there, like even before the Pacs and Biggies,
And in Cameroon, were there any influences?
Yeah, in Cameroon, we didn't really have like MCs, we had dancers, So, but we didn't have platforms to watch them, because back in those days, you only had CRTV. But I think CRTV had like one program that they used to call, was it Black Box? They had the program. Clipbox. They will show us foreign music over there, and that's how we started getting introduced. But like I told you, for me, I had Nigerian neighbors. Nigerians have always been advanced when it comes to music and traveling and all that before Cameroonians. So I had my Nigerian neighbors back in those days. they will come back with cassettes, different types of things, you know. So we could watch on VHS. We could watch Michael Jackson, different types of things, you know, like movies, American movies back in those days.
So, Isha, tell us, what is your story? Collaborations, your groups. Tell us about the genesis.
And the story, man, it all started in school, man, because I already had the courage to perform in front of the class. You know, and I'll make the class hype, make the teacher hype. So I already knew that I was an entertainer. Like, it was just a matter of time. But seriously, I got introduced to hip hop. Like, it's funny, you know, because my elder brother, we have a three-year difference in age. You know, like he's the one. He's a lawyer now. I call him Jackson. You know, for people who know.
Shout out to Big Jackson.
They know who I'm talking about. You know, he's the one who introduced me to rap because I found his rhyme book. You know, like and he had a song. He had a song that he used to rhyme with his name because his name is a Puli, his real name. So I found his rhyme book, and in the rhyme book, he wrote a verse that was going, "My name is a Puli, but people call me Bully," you know? And yeah. I fell in love with that phrase, and from there, I knew I had to write my own music down. That was the first thing. So
yeah,
all I had to practice was how to write my own lyrics, you know, and then I had time to doing that. But like growing up, like, I used to love all genres of music. Like, for example, where did my name come from? My name Bisha came from Shabba Ranks. If you know the Jamaican artist called Shabba Ranks, Mr. Loverman. You know, like back in the days, I used to perform one of his songs, you know. So
during KMS, I guess.
Yeah, people used to call me Shabba, you know, so. And then my friends at that time started calling me Shabby. You understand? Shabby, like my name came from Shabba Ranks. Then we decided to inverse the name, you know. And it came out, it was Bisha, you know, Shabba is like Bisha. So that's where my artist name came from.
Who did you start rapping with?
Like I had my friends, like my friend Mika, you know, like
shout out to Mika.
Yeah, he's in France right now. Like that's how people know him. My friend Mika, like we were in different schools, you know. He was my boy. We were in different schools, but we always meet up because we was in the same neighborhood, you know. And I also have my other friend who was called Faisal. So he's from the French-speaking zones, you know. So he used to rap in French, but we always vibe because they were dancers. They used to dance. We used to all dance, you know. But you know, I was more interested in the music than the dancing. So
how was hip hop back then? Were there concerts?
Back in the days, there used to be those platforms where we would go and watch artists like Krotal. He actually had a group, I forget, but there was this other guy. It was Omar CVM, DJ Billy, Racine, and Schweltig. There were guys like Kopo, you know, back in the day. So we used to go and watch them perform. Even guys like X Malaya, they were already there. I remember back in the day. So we would just hope on those concerts. And just, you know, we used to perform in many places. Like, I don't just remember the names because it's been long. It's been so long, you know. I've also been out of the country, so I don't remember a lot of those places' names. You know?
So what are the high moments of your career? What are the low moments of your career? Tell us, were there collaborations, were there performances? Tell us about your high and low moments.
I mean, for me, man, I've never really had no low moments in my music career. You know, I've always had I've collaborated with a lot of musicians, a lot of great people, you know. Like, we did the Malaria No More project in 2010, I think so. Like, with the highest artists in Cameroon. And I featured Jovi in like 3 tracks, you know. Jovi for me is like the #1 artist in hip hop right now. I think we can disagree on that. Like based on his body of work, you know how many albums he already put out. And Jovi is a guy that I worked with personally, and I've seen him work, and I know the way he works. He's a hard worker, and he really puts in what he does. Like a lot of respect for him. I've collaborated with Petit Pays. I've collaborated with guys like DJ Chooks.
Yeah.
I've worked. We opened the Akon concert, the Akon Smirnoff concert in Douala. The Akon concert, you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was with Sydney. Sydney's the guy that won African Star. He was also involved in the ever first Coca-Cola Dream in Cameroon. So I've worked with guys like Sydney too. Just to tell you the big names I've been involved with. I've worked with Manu Killer. Shout out to Manu Killer. I've worked with, there's guys like Richard Bona. There are a lot of great artists. Okay. There's guys like Gibraltar Tracus who used to do Bikuti. I used to like his style because of his paintings and everything.
Yeah. So what are your present projects? What are you working on right now? And do you have any upcoming projects?
Yeah, man. I've been working on my album for like 5 years now. The reason it haven't been released is because I've never been satisfied with the type of work, because I'm just an artist. I'm not a sound engineer, and I don't I make beats, but I rarely make beats for my own projects. So I haven't been satisfied with some of the mixings, some of the way the songs came out, the recordings, so there's been a lot of changes. But I'm still working. I'm working on my album, More Than Just Music. That's the title of the album. I've been working on it, and I'm still working on it.
We are expecting More Than Just Music from Black Fred, aka Bishar. That's a hot one.
For real, man.
Yeah. Yo, Bishar, it's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Oh, thanks, my bro. Appreciate it.
I know there are many things coming up. The album, I guess you're already in contact with many artists, and you guys have been cooking something real hot.
Always, man.
Yeah, we're expecting.
Always.
Yeah, do you have any other thing to say? We like to shout out some guys and anything.
Man, shout out to God, man. Shout out to God, my parents, my peers, my siblings, Shout out to my niggas. They already know this, so I don't need to call names, man. I'm the type of person I keep my friendships on the low. I don't want people to know my friends. So that's how I function. If you already know them, you know. If you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, that was La Base with Black Fred, aka Bishar.
What, man? Peace.
They want make a bow, make a back. But me, your boy, I overstrong.